This is surprising to hear, guys. Breaking news. Do you guys know that France is currently broke and they are looking up to a lot of African countries to come rescue them? They are begging Burkina Faso, they are begging Ghana, they are begging Mali to come and rescue them. Even South Africa, they are begging their government to please come to their rescue. We all know how the French president once said that Africa relies on them, that without France, Africa cannot move. But the reverse is the case right now, because the economy of France is collapsing. And I'm going to be sharing the video here for you guys too. I'm going to be reacting on this particular video. Please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe.
Breaking news. France is broke. Do you remember when Vladimir Putin said that France needs Africa? Without Africa, France will go broke. Well, those words have come true. France is in a $3.6 trillion debt. That is crazy, but it does not stop there. With every second, the debt grows by $6,000. That is crazy. It seems without Africans' resources, they all go broke, and they need us. That's why they have been sending representatives to Africa to beg, let us come back. Well, Africans are saying no, we don't want you here. Do you remember when Macron went on television and he said that Africa needs us, Africa should be thanking us, which is just crazy. Well, right now he sees the repercussions. He sees we are not playing around. We have woken up. This news is coming right after they have just handed back their last military base in Senegal. So right now, as I speak, France does not have any military base in Senegal, and they don't have any military personnel over there. So this is just crazy. So after being kicked out of West Africa and realizing that Russia is actually helping West Africa, they have decided to go to a weaker country. They have decided to go and steal the resources from a weaker country. And guess which country? That is Madagascar. Yes, they are stealing the islands of Madagascar. So guys, let me know what you think about all this.
Ladies and gentlemen, your best friend France, I know that we Africans, right, France is our best friend, right, in court, France is going into bankruptcy. France is broke. As I'm talking to you now, they are indebted to the tune of $3.8 trillion, a debt they cannot be able to pay. And in fact, based on estimate, every second France get indebted to the tune of $6,000. That's on daily basis. They are indebted to the tune of $518,400,000 every single day. And in fact, even their prime minister say that they are in mortal danger, because it looks like they are not going to recover from this debt. And they are making some measures, including reducing their holidays and doing some austerity programs to see that they reduce the debt burden. Do you know why France is broke? Because they lost Burkina Faso. The gold mine is gone. They lost Mali. The gold mine and the bauxite is gone. They lost Niger, no longer access to uranium that they used to enrich to deliver power to Europe, and they get it for free, cheaply. So most of the losses they've incurred in Africa is actually what is pushing them into bankruptcy. As it was declared by Jacques Chirac, the former president of France, he said that if France lost their African colonies, they are likely going to be the third world country. Are we witnessing the backsliding of France to the third world country? But here is what I think is going to happen. France is going to get very desperate, and they are going to continue to empower their asset in Africa, especially the terrorists, to continue to wreak havoc in other countries where they seem to be friendly, especially the Anglophone countries, because the Anglophones have no history of French colonial destruction, and most of them seems to be friendly with them, especially countries like Nigeria. We seem to accept so many development aid from France. We are opening our doors to France, and this is very, very risky. Now that they are desperate, they are going into bankruptcy, they are being heavily indebted. How sure are we that they are not going to recover this debt by scavenging on our country. So our policymakers need to be extremely careful in dealing with a mortal France that is going into serious bankruptcy. Thank you.
What is really happening in France? Is this the same country that used to manipulate most countries here in Africa? Is this the same country that used to take minerals out of Africa without getting questioned? Is this the same country that used to exploit Africans and African resources? Right now, France is battling a lot of debts, and very soon, France will be declared a third world country. Now, do you think by Emmanuel Macron being the president of France has really led to France being destabilized economically? Since you know that right now France is really battling a lot of debts, and IMF has just promised to go after France. They have said France must pay off all the debts that they have in IMF. And right now, France has no say in Africa. France had already been sent away out of Africa. France had already been chased out of those countries that are rich in minerals. Countries such as Burkina Faso declared that they are not going to use the France CFS, the currency that is being used in France. How is France going to pay off the debts that they have in IMF?
In a stunning act that has left the African continent reeling with both hope and outrage, France has finally returned 3 human skulls to Madagascar, including one believed to be that of King Touera, a heroic Sakalava monarch beheaded by French colonial forces in a blood-soaked massacre in 1897. For 128 years, these sacred remains, stolen as grotesque trophies of colonial conquest, languished in the sterile halls of Paris's Museum of Natural History, a chilling testament to France's brutal domination of Africa. The handover, formalised on August 26, 2025, at a ceremony Bojangles ceremony in the French Ministry of Culture, marks a historic first under France's 2023 restitution law. But let us not be fooled by this symbolic gesture. While Madagascar prepares to bury its king with dignity, France's iron grip on Africa remains unbroken through the suffocating CFA franc, predatory military presence, and relentless resource looting. As revolutionary leaders like Burkina Faso's captain Ibrahim Traoré and Niger's general Abdourahmane Chiani rise unapologetically to demand justice, and as Namibia's president Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah confronts Germany's colonial sins, Africa is awakening to a new era of defiance. The return of King Touera's skull is not a victory but a spark, a blazing call for the continent to seize its destiny, reclaim its stolen wealth, and shatter the shackles of neocolonialism once and for all. The story of King Touera is a blazing testament to African resilience and a harrowing reminder of colonial savagery. In the late 19th century, as France clawed its way across Madagascar to expand its colonial empire, King Touera, revered monarch of the Menabe kingdom, led the Sakalava people in a fierce stand against foreign domination. Outmatched by French firepower, but undaunted in spirit, Touera embodied the unyielding soul of Malagasy sovereignty. On the night of August 29-30, 1897, French troops descended upon Ambaki, the royal capital, in a massacre that stained the earth red with the blood of hundreds, if not thousands, of Malagasy men, women, and children. In a final act of surrender to protect his people, King Touera laid down his arms, only to be betrayed, executed, and decapitated. His head, along with those of 2 generals, was severed and shipped to Paris as a barbaric trophy, stored among 20,000 human remains in the Museum of Natural History, a chilling archive of France's colonial crimes. At the Paris handover ceremony, French Culture Minister Rachida Dati admitted the unspeakable. These skulls entered the national collections in circumstances that clearly violated human dignity and in a context of colonial violence. Her words, though measured, could not mask the horror of France's actions.
This is a very, very interesting news. It's long overdue. Africa is beginning to rise up, and right now, what we want is actually happening. We want them to start begging us for our resources, not we giving out our resources freely, or they themselves coming in to take our resources due to the IMF loan we've borrowed from them, or due to the loan that has been attached to them. Burkina Faso kicked out France, Mali kicked out France, Niger kicked out France, and I hope other African countries can also do the same thing by kicking out France in their country. France as a country has long overdue exploited Africa. Like, they have exploited Africa in a way that our resources now wants to become theirs. But all thanks to countries like Burkina Faso and other Sahel countries that stood to their ground and say, we do not want to associate with France. And Putin is now begging. Putin is actually begging that they should be accepted back. Putin is begging that it's very funny because this is what I wanted to happen. But he's actually begging these African countries to please help them because they are in debt this period. Guys, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think should be done to France? Or what advice do you need to give to Ibrahim Traore and other Sahel country and other African country against Putin? Please comment below, like this video and share.